going on
Yes.
in Egypt. Of course, spending more time watching the games and all that.
Yes.
Because we want to be, at par with what's going on in the world of sports. And of course, there's been World Cup,
Yes.
Women's World Cup, which I think
This year it
has been
very,
overshadowed by
very
AFCON.
entertaining. This
Very
year it has been
entertaining.
very, very entertaining.
Apparently been overshadowed by AFCON.
Yeah.
And so not so many people knew what was going on, but I kept on watching all the games. And I tell you, the quality of play from the Women World Cup 2019 is something to just admire.
Your favorite match so far in the Women's World Cup?
My match was between USA and England.
USA and England.
And of course,
VAR
England
had
England were not lucky. This was not their year.
Yes.
And it even got worse yesterday when they finished fourth.
Yes.
Being beaten by Sweden 2-1.
Yes.
Again, they were denied a goal.
Yes.
By the courtesy of VAR.
Yes.
The match between USA and England, they were also denied a goal courtesy of VAR.
Yes.
Due to they were saying offside.
Margin.
Very minimal, by the
yes.
length of a finger.
Yes.
Now you can imagine the pain that England are going through at the moment. VAR, and of course the coach Phil never saying.
Yes.
The game yesterday was just a nonsense game. He didn't feel like it was necessary. I think he must be very bitter about it.
Must be very bitter. You did enjoy USA versus France. I feel that was the match of the tournament so far.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yes.
Very fast.
Yes.
And my question was, France,
yes.
USA. You look at those girls and you're asking yourself, where are they getting the energy for 90 minutes?
Yes.
They are running up and down. And it tells you...
And before that, France had played more than 120 minutes when they were playing Brazil.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so you ask yourself, where are they getting, these girls are getting the energy? And I was looking at the quality of play by the World Cup,
yes.
Women World Cup, and what we are seeing in AFCON, and there's a huge difference in terms of energy, generated by the players. And for me, France had one player that I really would want to see again. Dani, a girl who was playing on the right wing. The pace,
yes,
the dribble, skills
yes.
that girl had. It's just something to look at.
You didn't enjoy the skills from Eugenie Lesoma or Valerie Thauvin?
I mean, you can look at all of them.
Yes.
But I can tell you,
there has to be one who will stand out.
There's one that stands out for
Definitely.
you. But let me tell you,
yes.
the quality of play that we saw from this year's World Cup is something to want to look at again and again.
Well, we'll be getting to that later on in the show. But remember, we like taking a look at some of the moments that have made headlines in the world of sports right here every Sunday as a tradition dictates. So let's take a look at the men and women that have made headlines this week. Now, Lionel Messi came out after their defeat to Brazil in the semi-final of Copa America, saying that the pitches were poor and that is why probably they lost in the semi-final. Remember, yesterday he was also sent off against Chile in the third place playoff. So let's take a look at the other men and women that have made headlines this week in the world of sports. The tussle continues. Who will get Pogba? Is he going to remain at Manchester United, or is he going to move to Juventus or Real Madrid or Barcelona before the season begins? Remember, Manchester United will be beginning their pre-season tour and they've named their 28-man squad for the pre-season tour. Let's move on to the other men and women that have made headlines this week in the world of sports. Andy Murray, Serena Williams in Wimbledon. They are playing in the doubles and they have impressed so far. But there is one person that has impressed in this year's edition of Wimbledon. Coco, 15 years old. She's been playing in the center court and she's the teenage sensation that everybody is taking a look at. Of course, she's still in Wimbledon. We'll be taking a look at her matches and we'll be getting you the results of how she performs. Now, the USA are in the Women's World Cup final. Of course, they are there to defend their title. And something that came out in the semi-final versus England, of course, Morgan, after scoring that goal that gave USA the win, her celebration of sipping tea was one thing that stood out in that match. Let's move on to other men and women that have made headlines this week. And Kawhi Leonard, after successfully guiding the Toronto Raptors to winning their first ever NBA title, has decided to move from the Raptors to the Los Angeles Clippers. He's going to play there with Pat Beverly and Lou Williams. Now, Frank Lampard was appointed Chelsea manager earlier on in the week, and he will be taking over from Maurizio Sarri, who's moved to Juventus. And finally, the other person that has made headlines this week, Frankie de Jong, of course, unveiled by Barcelona this week. The youngster hopes to impress, saying that Barcelona's way of play is suited to him, and he wants his former player at Ajax, that is Magis de Ligt, to join him at Barcelona. Those are the men and women that have made headlines this week in the world of sport. But we want to begin Scoreline on a sad note. And Joe Kadenge, considered Kenya's greatest footballer of all time, has passed on at the age of 84. Kadenge played for Maragoli United and scored the fastest ever goal in the Kenya Premier League, and has also played for club football for Abaluya United, winning the Kenya Premier League in 1966. He also managed the Kenya national football team in 2002. Well, of course, a sad day in Kenyan football as Joe Kadenge passed on this morning. And of course, in studio, I am with Zax Waweru. Zax, what do you have to say about, the legacy of Joe Kadenge?
Well, first of all, let me send my condolences to the family and the footballing fraternity in Kenya for losing the great Joe Kadenge. I remember I was still a very young boy, yes, and I was listening to the radio and they were commentating on his game, and yes, everything was just, that time was Leonard Mambo, Mbotela and others, and Joe Isaac Monto those days.
Yes.
And they were just talking about Joe Kadenge and Peter, Joe Kadenge and Peter. That time you are young, and that name never left my head until today.
Yes.
And it's sad that we've lost him, but I think as it is, life has an end to everything.
Yes.
I think he's gone through a lot of pain, and I think his resting probably now gives him a lot of peace. And we hope that and we pray that his soul remains in, rest in peace in heaven.
Yes.
But he's one of the players that young players today need to go back and look at the history and see where he's come from and why his name was in everybody's lips.
Yes.
Because Kadenge was the hero for Kenya. And he's made a lot of attempts to try and help the Kenyan football, like in 2002 when he was the team manager for our national team.
Yes.
It tells you that he had an interest to see the country, the team progress and reach the highest height, which he did his best. But unfortunately, he never probably has passed on before the country even gets to at least get a trophy from Africa. But again,
yes,
may his soul rest in peace.
Yes, of course, everybody remembers the phrase Kadenge Nampira Shuti goal.
Exactly. It's like there was nobody else in that field of 22 men. It was only Kadenge, because once he got the ball in the midfield,
yes,
you'll never catch up with him again. And that's it.
Yes, of course, the country mourns the passing of a legend in the world of football, a man that put Kenya on the map when you talk about football. But we want to get into some Safari Rally action. Remember, today marks the final round of the 2019 WRC Safari Rally candidate event, and drivers are battling out to secure the top position through the terrains in Nakuru County. And at the moment, Baldev Chaga goes back to the top of the log. Remember, Manvir Barian was the overnight leader from day 2, but today Baldev Chaga has taken over the lead from Manvir Barian, who drops to position 3 on the log. Let's take a look at some of the action from day 2 of the Safari Rally.
you survive today, then I think tomorrow you should be okay. My expectations for the Safari Rally is to finish the rally, enjoy the rally since I'm the youngest and I'm quite inexperienced at this particular level compared to my competitors. But I don't think that should be a very big disadvantage, because if you're confident, I think you can do something.
Of course, Makre Kimathi speaking yesterday. Remember, Balde Chaga is the one who's leading at the moment in the rally. Yesterday's overnight leader, that is Manvir Bariana, has dropped to position 3 of the rally. But let's continue. Let's get to some triathlon. And Martin Montbabon and Stephanie Fernandez from France navigated strong Indian Ocean waves and braved Mombasa's scorching heat to win the Mombasa Open International Triathlon Championships. Montbabon clocked a time of 1 hour 13 minutes 26 seconds to win the men category, while Fernandez timed 1 hour 45 minutes. Kenya Triathlon Association Secretary Harrison Mwangi said they have picked top 7 Kenyan triathletes to represent the country at the newly introduced International Triathlon Union Zone 5 in Rwanda, and added that the athletes will also represent the country at next month's Africa Games in Rabat, Morocco.
This event actually is supposed to act as a preparation for the All African Games, and also the team which is going to Rwanda for the Zone 5 triathlon, which is going to be next week on Saturday, and the team is leaving on Wednesday. We are taking 7 triathletes, which is about 4 boys and 3 girls.
We are planning to pick for every age group 3 athletes, from boys and girls. We have triathlon participants. We also have duathlon participants. For every age group will have 3 athletes.
It's my second triathlon in Kenya, and I'm very surprised to see the big community of triathlon that we can find in that country. This event today was very well organized, and I enjoy a lot. It was a lot of fun for me to do this event.
Well, the Kenya Handball League defending champions Nairobi Water ladies are now the new champions of the Super Cup title. Water took the lead from the very beginning, beating Ulinzi ladies 26-20. In the men's finals, National Series Board produced team winded their season opener with a staggering win of 35-34 over Ulinzi. The National Handball League kicks off in 2 weeks' time.
Inakuanga dream kwetu tuwashinde. Tulijaribu huu mwaka ukwe wetu, lakini hatujafika hiyo maximum. But leo tumejaribu yetu yote. Though wanatushinda sana, lakini leo hata wamesikia.
Mchezo wa leo umekuwa mzuri sana. Tulitegemea ya kwamba hii team haitakuja rahisi. Itatupatia retaliation kidogo, na nafurahi manake wametupatia mchezo mzuri. Hawakukuja tu wamelegea, bali walikuja pia walikuwa na nia ya kushinda.
Well, Ulinzi emerged with a 74-68 win over the Blades in the Kenya Basketball Federation Premier League match played at the Nyayo Gymnasium in Nairobi. Despite Blades' upsurge in the game, Ulinzi demonstrated their prowess to walk away with the win. In another match played at the same venue, KU emerged with a half-a-basket win over Storms in a match that ended 48-47. Umoja, on the other hand, got a 67-55 win against Eldonets. Of course, we'll be getting to that later on in the show. Today, our focus will be on the 32nd edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. And remember, right here on KTN News, later on at 3:30 p.m., we'll be bringing you the match between Everton and Kariobangi Sharks. It is Everton's pre-season friendly, that match being played at the Kasarani Stadium here in Nairobi. We'll be crossing over to Rotuno Kwenyike, who's at the Kasarani Stadium. She'll be bringing us what to expect in that tie that will be staged at 4 p.m. Kenyan time. Kariobangi Sharks versus English Premier League side, that is Everton. That match will be live on KTN News from 3:30 p.m. But we want to get into the conversation that we are having right here in studio. It's all about the Africa Cup